Good morning. There we are. My name's Joshua, but since we're friends, you can call me Joshua. I have the privilege of serving as the Senior Engagement Officer here at the Museum of Contemporary Art, Cleveland.
These gatherings, we try to be deliberate about not calling them a conference or a summit. 60 people came together to tackle some big issues, the structures that we live in, the culture that we're a part of, and the realm of higher education.
I want to offer deep gratitude to the students. This convergence exists because of your leadership, your planning, and your insistence that institutions create space for honest, difficult, transformative dialogue. To help ground us and open our time together, it is my pleasure to introduce the Executive Director for the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, Kai.
Good morning, everybody. For those that don't know who we are, as the name implies, we have done legal work over the years. But really, it's about community building. It's about grassroots organizing, all really aimed at addressing the fact that we live in a systemically corrupt system. The theme of which we're going to be exploring in the next couple days, which is really connecting with the broader world, each other, the fact that we are nature, not separate from it. And of course, looking at how that interfaces with the world of academia.
I think everyone can sense that something is wrong, that we're in a pretty big mess. But the question of what do we do now? That's the challenge before all of us. And the answers and the power to make change is right here in our own community. So how do we start to bring community that's been fragmented back together? People are often starting from the wrong place. In the next 2 days, you're going to hear people be brutally honest about their own experiences, what they have been taught, and what they have not been taught. Only when we are completely honest can we then reckon with these truths meaningfully and start moving to a place of what we call right relationship. We all need clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, healthy food to eat, and hopefully a roof over our heads. Prepare to be fully present throughout the day, have an open mind and an open heart, active listening and candid sharing. And remember that this isn't at the end at 4 o'clock tomorrow, but rather just the beginning of relationship and community building.
Welcome to this beautiful, beautiful place. Our first task is going to be a little piece of work because we need some more space to work in. There's no right answer to many of the things I will be inviting you to do. It's simply an exploration. So taking a nice big breath. Leading and following. Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much.
Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what a lot of this day is going to be about.
Hi, I'm Mike. In my spare time, I teach sociology at Cleveland State University. We experience and feel and live through a disconnect with our communities, a disconnect with nature, with each other, and most importantly, fundamentally, ourselves. There is no more neutrality in the world. You're either part of the problem or part of the solution. We get to choose, you and I.
Hello, I'm Miriam, and I've been Dr. Scully's GA for a while now, and we've been working on a paper about militant apathy. From the mid-1980s onward, higher ed went from a public good to a commodity that encourages students to put credentials and grades first, and learning is almost non-existent. This transactional nature of education results in invisible students who are disconnected from learning, critical thinking, and their human nature.
We've been trained to think of ourselves as workers who are productive and efficient, and to measure our self-worth in terms of our achievements and career outcomes. When we were little, we were socialized to obey and conform to our higher authorities, rarely questioning why. We've been conditioned to disregard critical thinking and accept the status quo of productivity and efficiency.
Pollution itself moves within this line of inequity in the country. You don't even need a graph to see it. You just drive around the area and then you look. I studied in New Mexico and I realized pollution is also here. Pollution is never somewhere. These issues are never somewhere. They're where we are. They go everywhere we go.
Everyone is so disconnected from themselves, from each other's, from everything happening on the outside. As people, we need to do better, not only for ourselves, but for our community and our students.
On your name tags, you'll see one of the following names: Conneaut Creek, Chippewa Creek,
Tinkers Creek or Doan Brook. That is the name of the group that you're going to split out into. Each of the conversations are going to be led by a discussion leader. In the last 10 minutes, we'll all come back as a group if anyone has anything to share.
For the people who gave their presentations, thank you. You have taught me so much.
There's no grade in gathering and listening, and there's so much learning. There's so much insight, so thank you.
Food matters for our connection to nature. It links us to the life around us in an immediate and reciprocal way.
I just got really interested in food systems, and then I went down the rabbit hole of permaculture. We create this little community on the farm, and the kids have total freedom to determine how they spend their time. It gives the children the power to determine what they will learn and when they will learn it. And it works. It really does.
Community center and land-based programs can be used to educate people about the place that they live in and try to kind of heal our relationship with the land.
One experience that we have at Val's Purpose Oasis, students were standing there and Val actually invited them to come and pluck the tomatoes. There was a fear from the part of the students that they're gonna take some food away, from this wonderful woman. It turned out that they just simply didn't know how to pluck a tomato. Savannah said, if we don't have the confidence to pluck a tomato without hurting the plant, what does that say about the society we live in? And should younger generation know what it takes to feed a community? Or what does it take to feed the world in 20 years from now?
We want to take this another step and talk about, in the community, some things and people that are actually making a difference.
Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I came into this world of environmental justice through my professor. It changed the trajectory of my life. When I took that sociology class, it really opened my mind up.
I want to give to not just my community, but to communities who have given to us.
I know, we're still kids and we're still growing up. We're still living in this world and the community is struggling. So it's just you got to think about that too, because we may be spread apart, but we're all in one big world and all of us are striving to do the same thing.
You should just really appreciate what you have right now, and you can use what you have to help the community around you.
I'm putting together a project of tiny house villages for people who are in homeless situations, and I just want to extend an offer to everybody here that if you want to be part of this, I would welcome your participation.
I think that's a lot what this right relationship stuff is about, and this connecting, right? So I think that's great that, Paul, you brought that up. You guys are going to get connected. This is all how we start. We pass names along and we help each other, and wonderful.
To be here for our students to see that how important and how valued they are. Thank you for everyone who was supportive to them, and thank you for allowing us to be here.
We're going to switch to academic education versus knowledge and wisdom. And my friend Sundance is going to talk to us. He has taught me so much over the past decade by sharing his knowledge and wisdom that were passed down to him from his ancestors, not from degrees and all those things, and also from his lived experiences. I'm so grateful that he is here today to share some of that wisdom with all of us.
Hello. I spent a number of years as an administrator and as an educator. Failure, unlike in the academic world, has value in the natural world. Understanding why something does not work is equally as valuable as understanding why something does work. In Coyote Learning, the acceptance of failure as a learning tool instills confidence. If one is not afraid to fail, then one's not afraid to attempt in the first place.
What a day since the last time I took this microphone so far, huh? We are going to separate into two groups. One is going to be a facilitated experience with myself through the galleries, and the other is going to be a self-guided exploration with the artwork that's here on the ground floor. Group A, you are free to roam, and we'll switch in about 30 minutes here. All right, Group A, have fun. Behave. What I love so much about this exhibition that we're getting ready to experience, it challenges a lot of perspectives about who is the authority for nature. And you see that kind of shine through in many different facets. We're gonna spend time with one piece, and then we're gonna spend time with another piece. And then I'm gonna give you the last 15 minutes or so to really just kind of explore the gallery on your own before we come back for sort of a collective response.
Good morning. Whoa, there we go. Anybody have any particular thoughts, reflections, things that are top of your mind about yesterday that you carry into today?
You know, I didn't sleep last night thinking about this stuff. And I was especially impressed with our students from Cleveland State in CASE, in their testimonies and their administration. The seeds have been planted.
Yesterday was meant to be this sort of grounding time, some connecting time, trying to be as forthright and honest as possible. That's how you get closer to perhaps transformational change, if you can actually reckon with those hard truths. Today really is about deepening more of that connecting and then really discussing sort of that movement forward.
My name is Melina Grigoli. I'm an artist and architectural designer living and working primarily in Cleveland, Ohio. In 2024, I was awarded funding through the city of Cleveland. This would involve deconstructing a condemned home in Cleveland, biocycling the demolition waste, and using the resulting material to create a temporary installation designed with input from community members.
The idea for a Rust Belt Humanities emerged from a simple question. What would it take for Clevelanders to understand the potential of their home, their region, and to fully grasp the capacity of the humanities to ignite the powers of curiosity, imagination, and storytelling, to transform space into place?
Hello, I'm Carl. I spent much of the last 20 years studying why the health of society and ecosystems are unraveling and what we must do to achieve a healthy, just, and truly sustainable society. I'm going to ask you now to do some work, because part of immersive education is you doing things. That folded piece of paper, these are some ideas for radically rethinking education, immersive education activities that students could do. So I want you to open that up, somebody read out some of the ideas, and just talk about it at your tables. We're all trapped in a food system, a transportation system, an education system that are hopelessly dysfunctional because they're based on the ideas of Western philosophy, which is disconnected from nature.
I mean, we all sense that there's a big shift in education, but what's going to take that place? For me, it's a call to action of co-op building and building these connections so that when the system does collapse, at least we have each other and we have rapport and we have relationships built.
We need people to just step up and say, I'm going to try this thing. You can just create your own little homeschool co-op. I want people to feel empowered and have the agency to say, I'm going to try something.
The hardest hurdle for people to get across is that first one of actually doing it, pushing past those norms and actually trying to experiment and do something new. And I think once we get into this rhythm of play and experimentation, whether it be with a radio station, in a classroom, on a farm, we find it easier to continue to experiment in those new ways while still confronting problems that come by experimenting, you know. I think that's something we can keep in mind for the future.
Thanks for your attention and having us here today. So my name's Emma Klein. This is Amy Yuns. And today we're going to be presenting on a talk with the topic, Myceliation, a creative method for making connections. All of these systemic issues that we have that we want to solve, they aren't necessarily anything that one discipline in and of itself can fix. So learning how to communicate across those boundaries is really important if we want to address them.
And we were able to hire a bunch of students to think about lichen, an overlooked but really important ecological, wonderful organism. Do you guys know lichen? Lichen, yes. We felt like focusing on an organism like lichen would help us to cover a lot of bases and interesting things to pay attention to and learn from. You know, an organism that is made up of multiple organisms that work together in a symbiotic relationship so that they have more resilience to live. And it's time for another kind of fungal entanglement. So we just have strips of fabric, tie them together It's about thinking about making connections. And if something breaks, think like mycelium. You just got to tie it back together, right?
Yeah.
Try to expand. It just rained and Mark's
All right. Everybody got that play out of them? Because this is going to get serious.
Oh, boy.
No more.
No.
I'm currently working on a research project with a fellow student, Michael Brinderly. And so in the past year, Michael and I have noticed that a lot of our peers have begun to increasingly use AI in ways that they hadn't before, and it's beginning to impact their cognition. They're getting used to being in a relationship with a chatbot that constantly validates them. Then I wonder if that's going to replace their self-efficacy, their ability to feel capable and able to do things, and instead make them always want to go back to that AI chatbot because it's always going to validate them.
Some people are gravitating to AI relationships because they are accessible, they are ever present. You have somebody who will listen to your every story, give you compliments, right? All of the things that we might desire, sort of cracking open how people look at their human-to-human relationships.
In many ways, AI is at the forefront of a major caricature of everything that's wrong. Our society is built on growth and development, progress, innovation. All innovation is good. Mother Nature knows that's not true.
There's almost, it's like a tidal wave that is difficult to combat. Every 3 weeks, there's a new iteration of this technology. It's just too fast for people to keep up with.
All right, Donbrook, we're moving over here.
Hello, my name is Nico Bliscarascosa Nicholas. I'm one of Faye Perrell's eco-psychology students here. We'll be going for a little walk and doing a discussion to try to wrap up everything that everyone has talked about here today and try to move it into things that we can take forward into our lives more generally and take action upon.
Nice to meet everyone. I'm Ezra, and we found that these have been truly wonderful to do for our own psyche. The first part of the walk I intend to do silently for us to think about what we've been discussing for the past 2 days now. And on the way back, we're going to be discussing in small groups some steps to move forward with. For the remainder of the time, we're going to be sending these ideas that we've gained out to the greater group, trying to forward and reflect back off of each other, see if we can get some sort of dialogue going to grow these ideas possibly into action.
Power, far from being identified within vulnerability, requires just the opposite: openness, vulnerability, and readiness to change. This indeed is the direction of evolution. With this definition in mind, how can we build power to affect change?
Honestly, I would say truth, reckoning, and right relationship. It's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to admit that you don't know things. So I think that honestly, first step is to just be vulnerable and say you were wrong and then reckon with that truth. And then once you do those two things, you can start to form right relationships.
I think false prophets would offer easy solutions to these very complex notions. Events like this, that tipping point, where we actually make choices and we reconnect, and learning from other examples is really important,
My husband and I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, right next to one of the most beautiful parks I have ever seen, the Porcupine Mountains. When we found out that there's this Canadian company trying to build a copper mine right next to it, and I remember how desperate that made me feel. In the beginning, we didn't know what to do. We spent some sleepless nights. Little by little, we started building connections, and then through all these people that were interested in fighting back, we stopped it 3 times, and that was only because of all these people getting connected and working together.
This is so inspiring what you guys all just said, and I keep thinking this room, and what you came together to do this together.
It's hard to fight an enemy who has outposts in your head.
Yeah, that's the quote. Just to wrap up, I want to, first of all, thank all of you for attending. Give yourselves a hand, because you guys made this and all your great ideas.
To those of you watching these videos, listening to what was spoken about, I think there's a tremendous amount of possibility within what was presented, discussed, experienced here, and figuring out how it applies to your own experience, your own existence, your own situation, or even in some cases reaching out to some of these people and making your own connections. No matter where you live, these kind of things will resonate with people far and wide.